every year at the NAMM show, there's tons of instruments, there's tons of really cool guitars, and then there's lesser really cool guitars. In this particular case, we're talking about in the Martin booth, custom stuff only available from the NAMM show, and we've got one to show you today, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
My name is Cooper Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you are new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you'd like to support the channel and the things we do, make sure you visit our spring store link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast, the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts. And, buy stuff from us, visit our website, all of those cool things. Support us, and we thank you. Today, we are bringing you some thanks in the form of a custom guitar from the NAMM show. 2025 NAMM, every year we get to go, and certain manufacturers will put on custom events or they will have custom guitars in their booth, and you have the opportunity to attempt to buy these. And I know it sounds funny to say that, but effectively it's a lottery. We put our name in as a dealer. Yes, we'd like to buy this, and hopefully our name gets drawn and we get said guitar or a rebuild of the guitar, depending upon how they're doing that. This happens to be one of those guitars from the Martin NAMM booth. This is a beautiful, it's an O body, right?
Single O.
Single O. And in Cocobolo, Smokobolo, we are huge fans of this tone wood. So it's really cool anytime we get this. We'll dig into all of the specs, but just so you know, that's kind of the rarity of this. It was made specifically for the NAMM show. You couldn't just say, yes, I want it, and I'll give you money. You had to have the opportunity to. We want it. Now you have the opportunity to own it. That's how that works.
Very cool piece, and comes at an interesting time where there is currently no single aught or O in the lineup.
They ought to have some.
They ought to have one. There is a single O1228 Modern Deluxe, but that's 12 fret. We got a 14 fret single, and they just got rid of the single O18, no longer in the standard series. But this is like a...
Sorry, you said they just got rid of him. I'm thinking like Lux Kova.
Yeah, Lux Kova took him
out. Up to
his
old shenanigans. Take him out.
Yeah, single O18 sleeps with the fishes.
He did that to bring in his guy.
Yeah, he brought in his guy. Patronage job. Boss Tweed style. Tammany Hall. Social studies. So this is single O kicked up to a very, very cool level. This is 28 style. Got the herringbone. Got the style 28 backstrip in the Cocobolo. Really nice set, some straight grain, but also some swirly, whirling dervishes. And it's also Cocobolo on the sides, which is really nice.
Yeah,
because
I love when they do it that way.
A lot of times we like when the wood's on the sides and the back.
I prefer it.
This is an Adirondack top, which I think is a very interesting choice on a small body. I think it's cool. And it's also scalloped Adirondack bracing. So double Addy and the Smokobolo.
Do you know which pattern it is?
X.
Cool.
Yeah. Scalloped.
No V-class here.
No V-class.
Need not apply.
Yeah. But yeah, very pretty creamy top. Antique white binding with a little purfling line kind of going all around. That is diamonds and squares on the fingerboard. On the ebony fingerboard. And then up at the top, headstock overlay, dark but very cool Cocobolo. And some Grover open geared tuners.
So it is very much similar to a 28 style, effectively. I think the design around this guitar is, let's take a 28 style, let's kick it up with Cocobolo and Addy. And that's a winning combination in my book. You mentioned it's an interesting choice to go with Adirondack on a small body. Explain. This is mahogany, by the way.
Oh, that is Genuine, the guy that did Pony.
It's genuine or genuine.
Genuine, and there's also a volute. But yeah, genuine mahogany.
There's actually a little figuring on that mahogany.
Yeah, it's nice. So I associate Adirondack spruce on big old guitars. And I think it works well. I mean, it does what it's supposed to do on all sizes of guitar. But you typically, like you look at some of the customs that we've done, smaller body things, we usually go maybe an alpine spruce, lutes, something that's a little bit lighter, softer. However, we've had some awesome Adirondack top, like grand concerts and 12 frets and stuff. So I think it's a very cool choice. I just think small body, but then you get some heavy duty Cocobolo and some heavy duty Adirondack. Like that's a cool kind of mix right there.
It is a cool mix. And, Adirondack is, if you go back to the golden era of Martin, it's what all of those guitars had on it. It was the spruce of choice. It's what was growing in that area of the world. They were basically just like farm to table guitars, Martin back in the day.
Urban woods.
Yeah, they were urban woods. And a lot of those trees disappeared, they became urban neighborhoods. But they've matured again, it's available again, and it's great to see them on guitars. But to your point, a lot of times it's used on a big body guitar because it has such a huge volume potential. And it can be kind of tight because of that. So there's a springiness to it. I think it helps when you have Addy bracing as well, because it works in conjunction very well. And Adirondack bracing, I like it on a variety of tops because of the way it responds. There's a springiness, a snappiness to it. But when you take a small guitar, you shrink down the top, there is something that happens based upon physics, right? There's less energy needed to drive the top. And so I think that kind of plays into whatever it is, including a wood that we would associate with a lot of volume. And instead, there's a tonality change when you're doing Adirondack on a small body. There's not as much energy needed to move the top because there's less mass. If you play with a light touch, this is a louder guitar than a big guitar is. We kind of talk about those things a lot. But playing this guitar, and we're going to listen to it here in a second, what I picked up was a genuine change to the tonality response I expected from Adirondack in a really delightful way. So check it out. All right, so there you have it. And here's your opportunity to go to the comments right now, type in your opinion before we give ours, and then you could say, yeah, that's what you thought before we taint your opinion. Okay. So, Cooper, what do you think of the tonal response of this little guitar?
I love it. It's girthy.
It's girthy.
For a small guy.
Yeah, there's a thickness to it.
Yeah, really. In the demo, I started off a lot of finger picking, then there was some strumming at the end, but it's always a welcome surprise when a very small guitar like fills up the room with sound, even with light finger picking. I mean, we talk about that a lot. Smaller guitars take less energy to bring out the sound because there's less surface area. So I think this is a great example of that. But it's a thick sound. Really nice. It's
a real chunky sound. I think that's owed to the combination of its small size and the use of Adirondack for the bracing in the top. And there's also a roundness to it. Usually, on a bigger body guitar, I think Adirondack has the tendency to be very bright and almost kind of pinpoint focused with its volume. And it's very different in this application. I really dig it.
It's awesome.
And it helps with the fact that since it is a small body guitar, it's kind of generating some additional volume than I think you'd have from any other species of wood. So great combination. It's almost a throwback to not Brazilian, but I think Cocobolo is Brazilian-like in certain circumstances. It's from that area of the world. It is a true rosewood, and one of the things that I think of when I think of Brazilian rosewood is a lot of overtones, a really, really, really nice high end and a tight low end. And this Cocobolo has those characteristics. So I really dig it. This is a 1 3/4 inch net width, 24.9 inch scale length, and really comfortable to hold.
Very comfortable. I will also say aesthetically, it reminds me of some Collings guitars that I really love. The smaller body Collings have got a certain vibe to them, and I think it might be part of the aesthetic package here with the antique white, nice creamy top. It gives me that kind of Collings single O baby kind of vibe, which I like. I will also say that we have done some Adirondack and Cocobolo builds in the past, and when we build them, sometimes we might throw a abalone rosette or something on there, but typically just that wood pairing and any size of guitar we're going for, that's typically a 75 to 8,000 to 8,500 or above guitar, just because it's expensive to do it. This, I think, is not a cheap guitar by any stretch of the means, but it's definitely more affordable than if you were to spec it out by yourself and just put in an order. $64.99. One of the less pearly guitars that they had at the show this year, which I think, if you look around at other dealers, there's definitely people that went for the VTS, Adirondack, Guatemalan D45s, which I think that's great. You can get those anywhere. I love those. But this is kind of a unique thing that there's really nothing right now in the line that's similar to it, but it still has vintage Martin appeal. It's got a very comfortable kind of vibe and a sound that I don't think you get out of anything that's currently in there. So I think it's great.
Well, that's the benefit of the NAMM guitars is we're not having to spec an individual guitar. They've created this for the show, and so there's a value to it, And it'll cost as much as a late model like Geo Prism, or maybe a little bit more, but this is better. So
I think so. Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you want more information about this guitar, we also have some other great custom shop Martins in stock right now. You can check out our website, which is
alamomusic.com.
Just like that, right?
Yeah, .com. Type that part in fast.
Just alamomusic.com. And when you hit enter, our beautiful website will come up. You can check out everything under Martin, look at the custom stuff, and you can also chat with us online. If you want to put something together yourself, we can help you configure that. And you know what? There's some pretty cool options that I think we're playing around with, Martin. So feel free to pick our brains, as it were. If you like cool stuff like this, the discussion of guitars, we're glad you found us, and we wanted you to stick around. So make sure that you subscribe, like, comment, share, keep coming back for more, and we will be here to show you more at alamomusic.com.